if I remember correctly, you were on the tour in 18. Is that right?
Yes, 2018. Played three events last year on tour. So
Cool.
kind of in the midst of all this live chatter and Corn Ferry Tour in subsequent years. So,
Um, what was just your general reaction when you saw the news today?
man, total bombshell. I don't know if you want to call it the biggest news to ever hit professional golf. It very well could be. Uh, Everyone was blindsided. There was nobody that was prepared for it. I'm sure everyone's curious how many people on the inside knew that this was going down. But just from the looks of Twitter and reading players' reactions, everybody completely blindsided. I'm still affiliated and received an email this morning with a press release from the tour and a combination press release from the DP World Tour and PGA Tour and the PIF and LIV. And it as soon as I got the email, I went to Twitter and it's like boom. I mean, you're reading it. 10 seconds ago this came out, 20 seconds ago this came out, so there was no time for anyone to be prepared for anything.
Um, how does it make you feel, given the sort of narrative, I guess, between the two organizations and the rivalry and to see it resolved this way? What are you feeling?
I definitely think there's a lot of betrayal. People feel a lot of betrayal, especially last year, a lot of player meetings leading down this narrative of, okay, if you go to LIV, you're never welcome back here. We don't want you back here. You're kind of ostracized. You're an outcast. You took your money and ran. Go for it. We don't want you anymore. We're going to be better off without you. And then you turn around and more or less say, I'm going to take the money. The commissioner, I think, is put himself in a very bad place. It doesn't look good to turn around that fast. And the poor RBC Heritage, this tournament in Canada, for 2 years in a row, they canceled it due to COVID. Last year, it was during the first LIV event, I believe. And now again this year, they get another bombshell of something that's going down. So I think it caught a lot of players off guard. It's a really bad look for the management of the tour, it feels like.
I've seen another take here that this is perhaps good for the sport as a whole. I wonder what your opinion on that take is.
I mean, I can see the angle because obviously we're kind of getting all the top players back together again, and you're going to have the elite competition of the best. And sure, that's great and all, but at what point is this turning into a money grab? And I get it. It's a great place to be if you're playing elite golf to make a lot of money. But the PGA Tour for the longest time prided themselves on we're all about charity. We're a 501c3. We're all about giving to the community. And all of a sudden, it turns around. It looks like it's just the guys that are running the show saying we're going to take our money and go.
I think this is my last question. One of the things I think we're starting to hear more and more about are these guys who had opportunities to bolt to LIV, take these huge paychecks, and then they didn't do it, and now they're seeing the people who did get to retain those paychecks and go back and play right where they were. Do you feel for those athletes in particular?
I do, because obviously that's a huge crossroads to face. We all grew up wanting to be on the PGA Tour. That was the goal. Even when I was on tour in 2018, there was no talk of this. It was like, man, you're at the pinnacle. This is it. It can't get any better than this. And so when you've got that, and then all of a sudden, LIV comes about and they're throwing tens of millions of dollars at you. Some of these guys, hundreds of millions of dollars. It definitely puts things at a crossroad of going, I've always wanted to be a part of the PGA Tour. Maybe when I turn 50, play on PGA Tour champions. This is something that's great. I've got a pension. I've got, benefits, all this. And then, someone throws a ton of money at your face. It definitely makes you have to think. And for those guys that really kind of prided themselves on, no, this is what I've always wanted to do, I can definitely see how that's a major stinger. I really feel for guys like, I look at like Rory, who went to bat week after week with the media, just having to answer so many questions. I feel like that would have been such a big beatdown. And then literally to wake up this morning and feel like he got stabbed in the back, I can definitely see some frustration with that.
Conrad, is there anything you want to add?
It's just going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I think, kind of reading up on it, we've got to still know that, I think a lot of people think it's just the PGA Tour and the LIV merging together. It's really seems like it's 4 different entities. You've got the PGA Tour, the PIF, LIV, and the DP World Tour, formerly the European Tour. You know, it looks they're all coming together in some capacity to create this one entity. How that plays out will be unique because, you know, the PGA Tour has the Corn Ferry Tour under it. You know, Latin America, Canada. Same thing with DP World Tour. They have the Challenge Tour. These are all feeder tours to get to this pinnacle. It's just going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. I know everyone has a million questions. There's a players meeting that's taking place right now, actually, as we speak, up in Canada. So, you know, hopefully we can maybe get a little light out of that.